CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. Today marked the final day on the job site for many Algoma Steel employees. CTV's Corey Nordstrom spoke with employees as they prepare for the future while the city looks towards a project to bring jobs back to the Soo.
Hundreds of Algoma Steel employees had their final shift over the last 4 days, part of the 1,000 job cuts related to the company's early switch to electric steelmaking. Today, dozens took part in sessions to learn more about employment insurance.
I don't know if I'm going to get called back. I don't know if I'm going to go back to school, so at least get this on the go. I mean, if I stay on unemployment for a couple months, maybe I get something sooner than that. Just kind of get the ball rolling, at least set myself up for what's coming next, and then go from there.
Workers like Prevo are also stressed that their former colleagues are now competitors in the job market.
There was, from the one union, there's 900 people laid off and 150 from the other. Yeah, that's a lot of people you're competing against for a handful, I mean, maybe a little more than a handful of jobs, but there's only so many mines out there that are only going to hire so many people, and some people aren't going to get them.
The Port of Sault Ste. Marie is one way that City Council hopes to bring back jobs to the community. If the project receives funding from upper levels of government, it could operate over 2,400 jobs when fully functional in a few years' time.
The construction jobs would be 1,400 to 1,800 depending on when the work was being undertaken almost immediately, and so that would be a good bridge for those 1,000 workers that are being laid off in the short term if they were interested in construction style jobs for the port.
With those levels of government investing hundreds of millions of dollars into the company's transition to the electric arc furnace, Shoemaker says it's right that they be part of a solution to find those 1,000 workers a suitable job in a project that he believes will contribute to the region and country.
Federal government, provincial government can't simply allow that transition to see those jobs evaporate. It will not have been a success if that happens.
The city has already submitted funding applications for the port project and hope to hear back shortly after the April deadline. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
Tonight at Council, Mayor Matthew Shoemaker addressing this moment for the city and calling for support.
We will continue to do everything within our power to help those feeling the consequences of these layoffs. But it is important to be clear. This moment requires more funding than the city has access to. We need meaningful support from both the federal and provincial governments to get through this period successfully. They have been responsive to the concerns of Algoma Steel in the face of unjustified tariffs, and now they need to direct that same level of attention and urgency to the workers and the broader community that is feeling the impact.
In other news, it's been a week since a huge snowstorm buried much of the Northeast. In Sudbury, the city's continuing to clean up, but many sidewalks are still buried. CTV's Amanda Hicks reports.
For Andrew Clark, getting around Sudbury has become a bit of an obstacle course. Without a car, he relies on sidewalks that are still hidden under massive snowbanks. 1 week after the record-breaking 42 centimeters snowfall.
Donovan, where I live, is all right, but yeah, it could be a lot better. Like downtown area, like there's mounds, like there's an elderly woman I just spoke to, and she's asking if the sidewalk was plowed over there, like so she can go to her appointment.
The city says last week's focus was strictly on safety, clearing emergency routes and cutting down snowbanks to improve visibility. Now that priority has shifted to students. Crews are currently pivoting to sidewalks around local schools before eventually moving on to major roadways.
We needed to focus on widening the roads because inevitably we plow from the middle of the road out, so the snow from the road was going into the sidewalks, and now we're moving that snow out of the sidewalk.
Rocca says there is no firm timeline for when every neighborhood will be clear, but says the city is using all of their available resources.
We're up to over 160 pieces of equipment deployed throughout the community. When you compare that to a typical storm response where we have 80, it gives you some perspective that we have really ramped up what we're using to try to get this snow out of the way and get people moving again.
With many sidewalks still buried and snowbanks blocking sight lines, Sudbury police are reminding motorists to stay vigilant as pedestrians are forced to share the road. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
March break is now over, and for many students in Greater Sudbury who rely on school buses, getting to class was a real challenge. CTV's Madison Merrier has more.
Many cars were pulling out of school parking lots today, and according to Guardians we spoke to, pickup and drop-off was busier than normal.
Considering the road conditions, it's better off if they take some time off. I'm hoping that the roads will be cleared anytime soon, and then they can return to the roads. Yeah, it's for the safety of our kids, the drivers, and everyone.
Life presents itself with challenges which are beyond our control, and when they come up, you just have to find a way to go about them. So I think this week or next week we'll just find a way to go about it, and I'm sure things will pick up and everything will come back to normal.
Parents we spoke to didn't seem to mind in the short term, and the consortium said tomorrow U-Rides will be in operation for students with special accommodations. However, the buses will take longer.
We have to individually look at all of those runs and determine, which stops can be done, which stops can be maybe amalgamated with other existing stops. So it is a massive undertaking for our group of, we're only 11 here at the consortium.
The consortium and the city have been in communication, and many of the school zone's roads and sidewalks have been plowed, with the goal of work being completed by tomorrow.
We did open up school zones or areas in front of all schools over the last few days. Those were all completed yesterday. So we created an area near every school that was a little bit wider.
All of our buses are 40 foot in length, and they have a tail swing and they have a side range that they must have in order to turn or to travel on roads. And right now we do not have that. So the roads cannot accommodate the buses. Some roads can.
The consortium says they will be in communication with parents and provide updates as they become available on the M Transport app.
We transport the most precious cargo, so that, our children are very important to everyone, and so we need to make sure that we keep them safe.
Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Snow load is to blame for a vacant roof collapse on Kapuskasing's Byng Street. The town was forced to evacuate almost 24 commercial and residential buildings between Queen Street and Riverside Drive because officials say the collapse caused a gas leak. Most have been allowed back with the exception of one apartment complex next to the impacted building. The mayor telling CTV News the building, which was to be converted into apartments, is now a total loss. All this snow has certainly made some folks happy. Ski hills in Sudbury say they're extending their season. Normally the city slopes would shut down this Sunday, but with the extra snowfall, both Adirondack and Lively ski hills will remain open until the end of March. We have more now on the unfolding investigation into a runway tragedy in New York as we learn more about the 2 Air Canada pilots killed in a crash with a fire truck at LaGuardia Airport. Here's a look at the runway earlier this evening where investigators were still poring over the wreckage of the Air Canada Jazz plane and the fire truck, which collided late last night. A multinational investigation now underway as chilling air traffic audio and eyewitness stories emerge. The pilots now identified. Antoine Forêt was the captain of the flight. He was from Coteau-du-Lac, Quebec, southwest of Montreal. His co-pilot, Mackenzie Gunther, also died. The collision weighing on the minds of many passengers at Pearson Airport earlier today, along with questions about how it could have happened.
I mean, it's very tough. I think anybody who goes through that kind of thing, these are people that they work with, and especially that's a smaller crew. The Jazz team, so I think that for them there's a highly likely that they have worked with them in the past.
It's unfortunate, it's scary. As you mentioned, it's definitely not common, so that's the only good thing we can say about it. It's a horrible situation, and we hope that it shouldn't happen again.
It sounds like human error, but it sounds like it's caused from lack of staffing maybe. Stressful situation for sure.
Definitely a tragedy, shouldn't have happened. They'll have to look into the communication between ground crew and the air traffic controllers.
The 2 flight attendants were François Grenier and Solange Tremblay, who was strapped to the jump seat, injured after being ejected from the plane. In other news, a natural gas leak forced the relocation of students from Greater Sudbury's Confederation Secondary School in Valcarran this morning. The school board says staff greeted students as they arrived and they were relocated to nearby École Jean-Paul II while the source of the gas was determined. The gas was turned off, contractors called in, and Greater Sudbury Fire Services were also on site conducting air quality testing. Just after 10 a.m., students returned to school after fire services deemed it was safe. The city confirms Enbridge has concluded the cause was a ruptured gas line on the roof due to ice buildup. Timmins police are looking for a suspect in the November 5th murder of D'Andre Durine. Police issuing an arrest warrant for first-degree murder for this man, 18-year-old Deshaun Prince Wesley. Wesley's last known address was in the Durham region. Durine was shot in a home on 5th Avenue and pronounced dead at the scene. North Bay police are looking for 3 suspects in connection to a fraud investigation. According to investigators, 3 individuals are believed to have collaborated in stealing a bank card at a retailer in the Laurentian Avenue area March 14th around 5 p.m. The card was used for an estimated $9,000 in purchases police believe to be fraudulent. A 60-year-old has been charged with arson after a fire in Redbridge Friday. Emergency crews responding to a report of a domestic assault on North River Road around 5:30 Friday evening. Police say the victim called a second time to say the house was on fire. The home was engulfed when crews arrived and the occupants had gotten out safely. The 60-year-old was reportedly in an outbuilding on the property at the time when they surrendered to police. A power outage has led to a precautionary boil water advisory in the town of Englehart. Those on the municipal drinking water system are being encouraged to boil your water to a rolling boil for at least a minute. They add you may not want to use water to drink, gargle, wash fruits, vegetables, make ice, juice, baby food, or formula. Unboiled water is okay for baths and showers. Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Rick, we'll have your full weather forecast. For now, a look at the current conditions. And we've got a cooler night this evening. Some clear conditions in Elliott Lake down to the island. -8 in Sudbury, -14 in Timmins. Some flurry action in Kapuskasing, Chapleau, and Wawa. We'll have details after the break.
Kicking off the weather week in fine style, let's check out our forecast radar. We've got some flurries coming in for tomorrow, maybe 2, perhaps 2 to 4 centimeters over the course of the day in some areas. And then another system by Wednesday at around supper time. You could see more snow to the north and some precipitation in the form of rain, mixed precipitation to the south. We'll keep a close eye on that. Sudbury nickel belt for tomorrow. Some flurries, as I just said, 2 centimeters, -1 your high. Chance of snow on Wednesday. Not sure on the actual amount, but we've got a high of 1 degree. Thursday, snow or rain at +1, -7 Friday on the cool down with the sunshine. Chance of flurries on Saturday, -3, and the chance of rain or snow at 30% with a high of +1. Meanwhile, in Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, flurries tomorrow. The variation here, 2 to 4 centimeters with a high of +2. Wednesday, chance of snow at 60%, +1 your high. Sleet, rain or snow Thursday, again +1. -5 Friday, sunny skies. Saturday, chance of flurries, -1, and the chance of sleet once again Sunday at 30% with a high of +2. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, flurries tomorrow, 2 to 4 centimeters. -3 your high. Then the temperature dips, -20 overnight. Periods of snow Wednesday, high of -6, -8 on Thursday. Chance of snow at 60%. Sun and cloud Friday, -10. The chance of flurries Saturday and Sunday, -6 and -1 your expected highs for the days. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, flurries tomorrow, 2 to 4 centimeters, a high of +1. -4 Wednesday, periods of snow, more of the same on Thursday, -3 degrees. -7 on the cool down. Friday, lots of sunshine. Saturday, chance of flurries at 30%, -3, and 0 your expected high Sunday. Chance of sleet, rain, or snow once again. Normally, you should be sitting at around +2 at this time of the year. And in North Bay, West Nipissing, flurries tomorrow, 2 centimeters, -2 your expected high. Chance of snow at 60% Wednesday at +1. Sleet, rain, or snow Thursday, 2 degrees your high. Friday, sunshine, -6. Flurries on Saturday, -3. And the chance of sleet Sunday, rain or snow, +1 your expected high. There you go, Ian, a nice potpourri of, well, We can put that on a platter if you'd like. Nice variation of conditions and temperatures over the course of the next couple of days. Back to you.
Thanks, Rick. Well, the municipality of West Nipissing is putting its former visitor center up for sale. Council has deemed the property in Sturgeon Falls surplus, and the building has been listed for sale with a reserve bid of $900,000. The property is about 8 hectares in size and has approximately 300 feet of frontage on Highway 17. The building was constructed in 1996, and right now there is one tenant in this space.
When you look at the cost of holding and operating that facility and the fact that it's not serving the needs of residents, council felt that the best choice in this situation was to look for a buyer.
A site tour is planned for April 15th at 2 p.m. and the bid closing date is April 29th at 2 o'clock. MPPs returned to Queen's Park today for the first time since December, and the spring session is getting off to a busy start. The Ford government set to table its budget Thursday while also facing criticism over a bill to restrict freedom of information access. CTV's Siobhan Morris reports.
For the first time in 102 days, MPPs from across Ontario are back in the halls of Queen's Park. The opposition making noise about an overhaul of freedom of information laws that will put the Premier's cell phone records out of reach.
They are taking us backwards, Speaker, in accountability and transparency. So I would ask the Premier to explain why is his government taking away the people's right to see how decisions are made and who is benefiting.
I'll tell you what's inside these phone calls.
Doug Ford has been clear. Blocking access to his phone is behind the changes. They come after the courts found he had to turn records over. He maintains Ontario is just getting in line with Ottawa.
There's two groups that are concerned about it. It's the opposition that they should talk to their federal partners, and the media. Everyone else is focused on something else.
The Green Party leader calls the Premier's justification
hogwash.
New Democrats tried to use a speaker's warrant to compel the Premier to share his records, but it's a move that goes nowhere. The ask is non-binding.
It's not my decision. I act on behalf of the House, and if the House directs me to issue a warrant, then I would.
Liberals argue the Premier's trying to duck accountability on other fronts.
After 8 long years, does the Premier really think he can hide from his record of making life harder for Ontario families?
Fraser pointed to the front lawn of Queen's Park as evidence. Parents of kids with autism pleading for more supports at home and at school. Without enough classroom help, this mom has had to quit her job to stay home with her son.
They have to do better. This is a never-ending fight, and that I'm trying to get Owen into a specialized classroom in the fall, but we're facing barriers, red tape.
The education minister says he empathizes.
We're going to make sure that we continue on this mission of revamping and re-energizing our school system so that it is the absolute best.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
The provincial government is increasing enforcement to enhance safety across northern highways. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
The Ontario government is taking action to improve safety on the Highway 1117 corridor. The Minister of Transportation says Highways 11 and 17 are lifelines for Northern Ontario, and we're making them safer and more reliable by cracking down on dangerous driving, strengthening enforcement, and investing in new safety measures that keep people and goods moving. Here is a look at some of the improvements: increasing the number of transportation enforcement officers, expanding enforcement blitzes, deploying 2 mobile inspection support units, launching procurement in spring 2026 to rebuild the Hearst Truck Inspection Station, improving and upgrading highway signage, and advancing preliminary design work to expand Highway 1117.
It's going to take a long time to actually bring that highway up to a modern standard. I get that, and it's going to cost a lot of money. But there are things that we can do immediately that will save people's lives.
Vantoff introduced a private member's motion to declare the modernization and expansion of Highway 1117 a project of provincial significance at Queen's Park today.
Prime Minister Carney asked the premiers to come up with projects of national significance that would help the country. We face a very, tumultuous time. and we can't think of a better one.
Other improvements include upgrading the provincial rest area network to include more year-round truck parking, as well as continuing to work with groups like the Federation of Northern Ontario Municipalities.
I think we have to keep the focus on the upgrade of both those highways, as we recognize that they're just not built for today's standards.
In 2025-26, Ontario is investing nearly $583 million through the Northern Highways program, including $481 million for rehabilitation projects and almost $102 million for expansion projects. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
Still ahead tonight on CTV News. Ontario's first Francophone Lieutenant Governor makes a visit to West Nipissing for the Francophonie. More in a moment. A rare Monday night hockey game to let you know about this one over in the Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League as the postseason continues. And this one in Kirkland Lake, it was game 3 of the series between the Gold Miners and Sudbury Cubs. The Gold Miners jumped out to an early lead, but a pair of goals would be all the Cubs required in the third. Sudbury goes on to win game number 3 and takes a 3-0 series lead by a score of 2-1. It's being hailed as welcome news in Elliott Lake and long overdue for hockey lovers in the city. As we announced last week, the city's Vikings are making a return. The Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League making the announcement Thursday that it reinstated the club. It's been a year and a half since the team's disappearance from the league. They'll return for the 2026-2027 season. The team's president says it's been sad to drive past the arena and see it all boarded up. Crews have been working year-round to make this happen.
For myself, not only myself, but the whole town of Elliott Lake. And like I said, the minor hockey, the figure skating, the fans of hockey, men's league. It's our pool just recently opened up, so there's been a lot of hardship in the last couple of years with facilities being down. But come September 1st, we're ready to go.
The arena is slated to reopen this summer following lengthy repairs and renovations. The Sioux Greyhounds now have a new deal with the city as the main tenant of GFL Memorial Gardens. The last agreement was signed in 2006 and had been in place for the last 20 years. This new deal is only 10 years with 2 5-year options to extend it. The city has now expanded box office services to include online sales, increased marketing and advertising opportunities. The city and Hounds also will add an additional 113 seats to the arena to include infill seating. Ontario's Lieutenant Governor is making an official visit to Sturgeon Falls as part of Francophonie Month. CTV's Eric Tashner reports.
A handshake, a welcome to Ontario's Lieutenant Governor Edith Dumont. She's the first Lieutenant Governor to visit West Nipissing.
I think we're going to have fun.
Dumont is the first Franco-Ontarian Lieutenant Governor. Her visit surrounds deepening ties with the Northern Ontario community and celebrate the region's rich Francophone heritage and culture.
We can be proud as a Franco-Ontarian to be part of all our important institutions. So I'm proud of my province because diversity is a core value that we cherish.
The municipality of West Nipissing received the prestigious 2023 Lieutenant Governor's Award for its land use and development strategy.
We spoke about the north and the challenges here, and then we look forward to continuing those conversations.
Her visit comes during Francophonie Month. Dumont will visit several locations throughout Sturgeon Falls, including the West Nipissing Community Health Centre, multiple schools, and the Club Richelieu for the Francophone dinner.
It means a lot to us to have her there tomorrow, and we had no problem selling our tickets.
According to the 2021 population census, there are over 652,000 Francophones living in Ontario, with close to 60% of West Nipissing residents who use French as their mother tongue or primary language.
It's the visibility. It's also the recognition of our communities that are not necessarily centered in Ottawa or Toronto, that we are all over the province.
And she looks forward to leaving her mark on this community.
The Francophones are people that travel across Canada and Ontario.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, Sturgeon Falls.
Finally tonight, the town of Smooth Rock Falls got an early start tonight to mark World Tuberculosis Day. Mayor Patrick Roberts sharing with us this incredible picture, the welcome sign to town all lit up in red to show their support. Communities and cities across the world are being encouraged to light up their landmarks on the 24th in red. Timmins will also be lighting up its signs in front of the bus station and museum, while curable tuberculosis still manages to claim 1.25 million people every year. Looking gorgeous, all lit up in red there, Smooth Rock Falls. That takes us to the end of our newscast this Monday night. For the latest news anytime, remember, you can head to our website, ctvnewsnorthernontario.ca. You can also download our CTV News app. Thanks for watching. Good night.